Okay, so welcome to our Team Made for More team call tonight. What are we on? May 21st. Oh my word, May 21st. I am super excited for tonight's call because somebody near and dear to my heart gets to share with us her heart. So I am going to just quickly introduce her and then step right out of the way. Kim and I met at a Super Saturday event in LA, where I actually got to share my story and about how I got into coaching and my transformation. And she actually introduced herself to me in the bathroom, and it was love at first sight. And no, really, we actually realized that we already had followed each other on Instagram, and so we stayed in contact with each other. We actually decided to become success partners. So that just means we have somebody who doesn't directly benefit us to push each other, to help us grow in our business, and to just be that accountability partner in more of the business side of things. And so we get to do that for each other, which is really awesome. And then we got to spend the amazing Success Club trip on the cruise together with our husbands. And they hit it off really well, and we just had a blast. So Kim will introduce herself more to you, but she's a mom of two. She is a police wife, and she's an amazing coach. She keeps me motivated and inspired literally every single day. I encourage you to follow her on social media, and you'll be inspired too. I absolutely adore her. I love her heart. I love how she just wants to take this opportunity and share it with others, because it's changed her life, and she wants to change other people. So without further ado, Kim, take it away and share with us how you have been so successful and how you hit Success Club every month.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's always like a total honor to even be considered as someone who's worth talking to anybody about how to do any of this. I started about 2.5 years ago purely to lose some baby weight. I've been going to the gym. I always have loved fitness. I always did a bunch of different things. I was trying to go to classes. I was like at that point where I had maybe 5-10 pounds of weight that just like wouldn't budge, and I was tired and I was lethargic, and I was struggling with balancing my two kids. My baby at the time had a lot of just kind of mysterious medical things going on. So I was in and out of doctor's appointments a lot, and it cut out my gym time. And I also didn't want to take him to the gym because then he would get sick, and it was just really frustrating. And my husband's police schedule was very demanding, and he always would have things come up where I'm like, oh, well, great. I just signed up for an expensive Pilates class for $20. Now I have to forfeit it. And it just felt like I wanted to exercise, but like everybody was in my way. And that was a very frustrating place to be in. And I didn't realize how frustrating until I found Beachbody and found like this freedom and flexibility for me to take care of myself. And then I stepped back and I was like, wow, I didn't even know how much I resented like all these things about my family around me, because I was so deep in it, and I just felt like that's my role. I have to do that. So I put myself to the side, and I knew all the things we should be doing, just like most people out there know. Like I wasn't drinking enough water. I was relying on processed food too much. I was going to Trader Joe's and just picking the frozen stuff and cooking it for everyone else. And really I was too tired or even just like kind of bored to care about myself. And I had a good thing going. Don't get me wrong. I was enjoying life. I wasn't very down and depressed or miserable by any means, but there was a piece missing for me for sure. And so I only realized what was missing once I fell into this. And so my coaching thing started very much as a person who just wanted the discount, because Shakeology, was something I loved, but I didn't think at the time that I could spend that on myself, where I was spending like God knows how many dollars a day on my kids' organic pouches and chocolate milks. And if you add all that up, I'm sure it's like $10 a day on that. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this for the discount. And I felt better about spending the money. And I'm the kind of person who loves to share. So if I love something, I'm going to tell people. So that part came very naturally for me. And from the very beginning, I always had fun with this. And it's funny because I was just looking back to my old posts from like the very beginning on Facebook and Instagram. And you guys, I wish I could like show you, but I can't because it's on my phone. but it's really funny. I had maybe like 7 likes on a photo or 5. And I was so dorky and I had like these bad images and it was like, you know, arm up and like did 21 day fix lower today and gave all the information away and did everything wrong. But I just had fun with it. And it didn't matter to me if everybody liked it or not. It mattered to me if one person would understand what I was saying. That's something I just from day one really kept in my brain and it stuck with me, is that if one person hears my message, my job is done for the day. Because when we take the leap into offering this to other people, it's great when we show ourselves, right? We have to be a product of the product. And no one's going to buy in or believe you if you're not walking the walk and talking the talk. But at the end of the day, after it's like good for you, kind of like, what does your audience get out of that, right? If you're new at this and you're struggling, I'd say, with hitting Success Club, I think Emily wanted me to talk about that. The thing that changed for me most, the shift, and it wasn't that I wasn't doing this in the beginning, it was that I got better at being consistent, was offering people something of value. So I always tell a story in my post and I kind of sprinkle little things in intentionally. Like today, I put a very simple post out. It's a picture of my daughter and I, just smiling at the camera, nothing big. And I just said something like, oh my gosh, can we freeze time? Less than 30 days until summer comes around. So me saying that, you guys, was intentional. I'm not telling people 30 days time, come join me, do a challenge group. I just put that in there to remind people who aren't thinking about it. Oh my God, I have 30 days until summer. Oops, I'm not where I want to be. I didn't say more than there's 30 days till summer. And I went on to say, I'm figuring out my kids' summer camps. Anyone have ideas? It was a very light post, but I was intentional because I want to put that little nugget in, because June is around the corner and that's a new month and that's new time for people to join you. So I'm always thinking about what's going on relative to our world. Like, is it spring break? Is it Valentine's Day? Is it 4th of July, Memorial Weekend? Are people going to be drinking? Are they going to feel bad about themselves by the end of the weekend? Maybe you might want to talk about the cleanse next week. You had a big weekend. It's okay, but how do you fall back into place? Offer tools, right? Not in a salesy way, but in a way of like, I get it, me too. Instead of beating ourselves up, let's give you the tools. And that's kind of something I talk about a lot. Is I'm not perfect. I'm not like a super fit person. I think after having 2 kids, I like the way I look better than before. But I think people relate because they see me as someone who's not doing more than, you know, I say I'm doing 20 or 30 minutes and I'm having fun with my family and I'm out and I'm showing them the meal prepping, the containers, but I'm also showing them I'm out drinking or I'm out having a snack and a treat and whatever. And then when things are hard, I talk about the hard. So my message, I hope, is going to come together here, is that you always have the opportunity to offer people help, and majority of people are struggling in some way. And I love telling people, because I think it's very important, that we don't have to beat the idea of weight loss, great weight loss, into people's minds, because I think majority of women out there don't necessarily have a drastic weight loss to have happen. Some do, and that's okay. But don't forget the people who are just out there feeling like they're not confident, right? Like they want their body to be healthier or more toned, or they want more energy. These are things I feel like people in general are missing. And I think we get so used to Beachbody land, where it's so normal, right? To like take care of yourself and to be positive and drink water and plan your food, that you forget what a struggle that is for people. So I like to plan my posts. If you guys have a pen and paper, write this one down. I started using it a year ago, actually pretty much in May of last year. I had a family emergency. I had to get on a plane last minute, and I knew I was going to be limited on Wi-Fi, limited on time. And while I was in the airport, I figured this out. I downloaded the app called Plan. It's Plann. And by downloading this app, I was able to plan out my posts. And you can get it for free or you can pay. There's 2 options. And what I love about it is it connects with your Instagram account. So you can kind of like visualize the board of what your Instagram looks like. And you can kind of go, okay, what have I been talking about lately? Is all my stuff just me in the pictures and me just working out? Or, oh, I haven't done with me and my kids in a while, me and my husband, or my dog, or outside, or a different setting. So it's good, a visual reminder for you guys. And I love writing things down spur of the moment. Even if I'm driving and I suddenly get an idea, I'll just use notes. I'll use my voice text and I will do it. So I'm not texting and driving, but those are the nuggets. Those are the moments. Like when you latch onto something, a conversation you had with someone, a comment someone made to you, those are all posts, you guys. It doesn't have to be something amazing and deep all the time, but the things that really connect with you and resonate with you, you've got to believe someone else out there is feeling that too. So I have become more comfortable over time sharing things that are not just, you know, related to fitness. And that helps because people want to get to know you. I know it's hard. I know it's like probably the biggest barrier for a lot of new people. But the audience is watching you for a reason. So if you hear my kids, sorry, I also have a cold. So if you're not giving them more, if you're just surface level and you're just like always the person working out, always the person meal prepping and looking great and having your weight loss, awesome, good for you. But people aren't going to keep coming back for that because that doesn't benefit them. So keep sharing, you guys. And it doesn't have to be like you have to keep reinventing, but it's just rotating those ideas, right? And kind of sometimes tweaking them for what's going on in the year, if that makes sense. So the cleanse I just did, and you want to know something? I did it for me and I thought I'll share it, and I didn't even realize how much it would impact people wanting to do it. But when they see you doing something, so this goes for a brand new program that comes out, eating the beach bars, talking about Energize, talking about the greens boost, like people need more veggies, daily sunshine. So many people struggle with their children being picky eaters, having issues with their diet, playing sports. I mean, as your kids get older, kids are active and they need healthy diets. We can do better, I think, with even daily sunshine. I think it's so underused. I don't really know why, but it is, I think. And it's even for me, it's not a big thing I'm selling, to be honest, but I use it in my house with my kids and I'll sprinkle it in. So my point is that you've got to use things and you have to show it. So me doing the cleanse, I think I sold, how many cleanses in 2 days? I don't know, maybe six cleanses in the last 2 days. People came to me out of the blue. I want to do it. Oh, sign me up. Oh, I bought one for me and my boyfriend. My friend said yesterday, like crazy. A girl bought a challenge pack. We just bought a challenge pack last week and she bought one today with the Shakeology and the cleanse. And I said, okay, so you can buy it on its own for $70 or you can get that with a month of Shakeology for $160. I always give people options. I'm done feeling bad about upselling because it's not. In my opinion, if you don't share all the information with people, you're going to maybe have them come back to you at some point and go, hey girl, you didn't tell me about Ultimate Portion Fix. Like, why did I buy that package for $160, which didn't give me Ultimate Portion Fix? And you know what? For like $40 more, I could have got a cookbook and Shakeology and a year of on demand and a whole nutrition plan and the containers. So what I've done is I've taken away a lot of the guesswork. I've taken away what they say is like, don't verbally vomit all the information. The biggest tip I can give you when you are trying to hit Success Club, when you are trying to connect with more people, is ease in, but don't be afraid to acknowledge that they are watching you or they came to you for who you are and what you do, right? If you're getting some new followers, I love direct messages, Facebook or Instagram. Thank you so much for following me. I share, I'll say this, I have kind of like a prepped message saved to my notes. I can copy and paste and put their name in so it's more personal. But I'll say something like, thanks so much for watching my journey. I totally love connecting with other women. Check out my stories for crazy mom life and some fitness. Thanks again. And that's it. That's like my welcome to me message. And a lot of times I get really cool positive messages back. I also like to put something in there at the end. Are you currently working on anything for health and fitness? Like, ask a question. A lot of people do respond. You think they won't, but they do. And then that gives me an opening. So people write me back, yeah, I'm totally taking care of my health right now. I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. And I'm like, that's amazing. What are you using for fitness? Like, what's your favorite workout? Again, they come back to me. Then I've had people say, oh, I'm doing keto and intermittent fasting. So I had a girl today, a woman, and wrote that on Instagram. And I said, oh, that's really interesting. I've tried all the different things. I'd love to send you a video if you want to watch of what's actually been working for me. And I love it because it's super balanced. It's not elimination. And it's worked for me for 2 years. Do you want to see it? And it's her choice. And she wrote, yeah, I'd love to see it. Cool. Okay. Got that saved in notes. And it's the Ultimate Portion Fix video. So I've been sending the Ultimate Portion Fix almost to every person that has actually come to me lately in the last couple months to say I'm interested, because I was super uncomfortable with it at first. I didn't understand Ultimate Portion Fix. I didn't understand the value When it came out, I totally panicked. I'm like, this is so much money. I don't know how to sell this. I feel like, how did we go from people spending $140 to essentially like 200 or 245 if they get the bag? That's a big jump. How am I going to talk about that? And you know what? I did it. I did the program. I did carb cycling before the cruise. I loved my results. I can talk about that. I love the value of everything people get in it. I'm using the recipes. I'm showing that. I'm using my containers. I'm showing it. And I'm seeing results for myself and people doing it. So now I feel really confident about telling people when they come to me, I'll say to them, do me a favor. What are you struggling with most? Fitness, nutrition, or both? And a lot of times they'll say both. And I'm like, okay, go ahead and watch this video. Let me know what you think about it. A lot of times people come back to me and say, that looks really cool. Awesome. Let me tell you about the 2 package options. And I'll say, if you want this program, it's $200. If you don't want it, I'm pretty much offering the 180 challenge pack, the 80-day obsession challenge pack lately, because I really hate the 160 challenge pack now. Now that they check out the containers, I just hate then telling people, oh, okay, so it's 160, but by the way, we're going to add on like for $10 the containers. Why? Why make it start to feel like you're doing a sale, right? I say to people, okay, here are 2 choices, 180 or 200, ultimate portion fix or not ultimate portion fix. Okay. Some people honestly tell me, like, they'll watch the video and they're like, that's a lot. And I say, cool, perfect. You don't need to do that. I just wanted you to know it existed because it's great, but it's not for everybody. So you can get everything you need to jumpstart without that. You still have access to plans. But I think leading a lot of times with information, acknowledging people are coming to you for help is important. Don't let them just sit there watching you. You guys, if you're lucky enough to have some eyes on you, they count. And remember, you don't need hundreds or thousands of people loving your stuff and engaging with you. You guys only need 3. That's it. Really? 3 a month in this company to be actually successful, honestly. To hit Success Club, to start to earn perks, to have some residual income, to kind of start to build up that volume, and to even earn those trips. I mean, you don't have to be hitting Success Club 20 every month. Like, it'd be great if you did, but don't feel like it's impossible. And I want to tell you that I was the girl who didn't know what Success Club was. I would sometimes make it on the board in the first few months, and I'd be like, what is SC? Like, I don't know what that is. I would text my coach, like, what is this? I didn't do any trainings. I got kind of just dove right in. Like, I loved it. I wasn't giving up. I was going to do it regardless. I would do it for free. I still feel that way. But when I started to understand that it's cool to make Success Club points and all that, but it's really cool to actually connect with people and help them. When you just continue with that focus, then it's real and people believe it. And then they'll tell their friends. And now I'm at the point where I've had this month, just out of the blue, a few people sending their friends my way, which is so cool. And it's such a compliment to say people believe that you really are doing it for the right reason. So stick with it. It takes time. Don't disappear when things get busy. Don't disappear when things get hard. Don't feel like you have nothing to offer, because everybody on this call has something to offer, and you're not meant to be like anybody else. I know you hear that a lot, but it's so true. And stop following a lot of Beachbody coaches if you're doing that. Like, don't do it, because then and don't go on your Instagram feed either, right? Because like every other person is some perfect pose Instagram mommy, model, blogger, fitness person, and that sucks. And then you look at that and you're like, how can I even compete? Like, I should just leave right now. But that's just not true, because there are so many people whose feeds don't look like that, and all they see is you, and you're the positive person, you're the healthy example, and that's it. You're it for a lot of people. So you have to get out of that Beachbody bubble sometimes and just don't panic, stay calm, but have a plan. So plan out some posts. And I don't know, you probably talked about this already with Emily, but she's really good at taking awesome pictures. And so that is a skill. And I did not know how to do that for a really long time. And she even taught me a lot of things on the cruise. But playing around with pictures in different places, if you're dressed up, and I know this sounds like ridiculous, but it's so worth doing. If your hair is done because you went to the salon, or your makeup's done before an event, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna take some pictures in good lighting, and then you're gonna go take another outfit and put that on and go stand somewhere else in your house, okay? And take some more pictures, and then like go in front of your garage, and then go in your backyard, and then whatever, like do that, put your favorites in a folder, and in a week you can go back to them and edit them and pick and choose. But your newsfeed does not have to be real time all the time. You definitely want to do a fine balance, because otherwise people are going to catch on and be like, that's not you now. Like that wasn't what you did in your stories. But it doesn't have to be, you know, every day, your reality every day. So I'm proud to say, like really proud to say, I think I've hit Success Club 10, maybe it's 13 or 14 months in a row, which is bananas, from the girl who like didn't even hit Success Club 5 for I don't know how long. But once I just started to kind of not give a shit anymore. Sorry if kids are listening. Everything changed, you know. I'm like, the unfollow button is there, the silence button is there. It's cool. Go ahead if you want it, but as long as you know you're true to who you are, you're not trying to be someone else, and you continue to give positive messages, insight to people, tips, be real, share the struggles. They're not going to be the most loved posts all the time. Sometimes they are. And when you share something that's real and vulnerable, don't ignore the people who liked it. Those are your people. So those are the people, like tonight, I'm going to sit on my phone and I'm going to go back to a post I did yesterday. And my post was about moms judging other moms, and it had nothing to do with fitness, but it was something that I was feeling based on my experience with my son in preschool. And I am going to go look at who liked that, and I'm going to message them. And if they're not my current customers, challengers, I'm going to connect with them. And I'm going to say, thank you, because I mean it. Thank you so much for reading my post and for resonating with it. I know that we all are in this, you know, it's hard. That's it. That's my message. I'm not going to say anything about join me or this or that, but those are like those bricks. And I really believe in, like, it's a psychological game. I don't know how else to tell you it. It is attraction marketing, and it's a psychological game. The more people watch you, the more they see you happy and doing something, they will join you. Maybe it's in 3 months, maybe it's 3 weeks or 6 months or a year. But if they keep watching, they're gonna try it out. So don't give up. Lastly, I hope, does everyone have a tracker like in their hands at home? I didn't do this for way too long. And I like to give an analogy of, like, I was basically doing all the work and then like feathers in the air, hoping they fly back into my lap. Not writing it down is like all your efforts gone. You don't remember who you talked to. You don't remember when you did, what they wanted, what their struggle was. So now I am not good at going back, but if things get slow, or I'm like, I'm running out of time this month and I've not hit Success Club, or I need to engage more with people, you don't need to go find 100 more people. You need to go back to your tracker and go back to the conversations with those people. You already started the work, so don't forget about that work. That's really been key for me. I think my biggest shift this year, I've been able to hit Success Club 20 or so since January, which I don't even believe is happening. I don't know how, but it's this. I'm going to tell you it's this, because this is the one thing that I didn't do before. So, I mean, if you're looking at the one thing that's different, it's the tracker, and I believe it's huge in helping. So consistency, writing it down, being prepared, and just knowing you only need 3 people. Like, that's it. It's not that hard. I know it is hard. I know it's hard, but in essence, 3 people, you can do it. You know, you just have to put that work in ahead of time. You can't expect one conversation or one invite to turn into, yes, I'm in your group. I've had people say, no, not right now. I'll think about it. Even send me the share cart link. And let me tell you, that sits there for like 2 months. I have to follow up. And I know there's like a bunch of statistics of how many times you say yes or no to something before someone joins you. But just know that being persistent is not being annoying. There is a difference, okay? So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to ask them again. I don't want to bother them. You know what? People are busy, and I think they appreciate when you say, hey, I thought about you. And there's a way to say it. Like, I sent 2 messages yesterday, and guess what? They are going to be 2 new challenge packs, because I went to 2 girls who came to me last week, then didn't follow up over the weekend, sitting in share cart, and I just sent a message and I said, hey, so-and-so, I just wanted to check back with you. I'm getting all my ladies set up this week to get started in the group. I know I want to make sure you have everything you need. If you're still planning to join, let me know. If not, no big deal. I just want to make sure that, you know, you're included. See, like, easy. I just let them know, like, I'm thinking of you. I want to help you, but it's on you. Like, not like, did you buy it yet? You know, did you you know, do you want to buy the challenge bag? Like, you don't have to say that. Just be like, I really am excited you're going to be a part of this. Is this still a good time for you? Easy ways to gently nudge people. That's all. Does anyone have any questions before we like run out of time?
That was awesome. I kind of want to upgrade to the one so you can keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I was like taking notes as fast as I could because I love all those nuggets of wisdom and got so much out of that. I think for me, what really stuck out was don't ignore the people who respond to your posts. Like, hello, why have I not thought of that? Like, I always say thank you to them, like, or like, you know, if they comment, but I like, why have I not thought to like message them individually? That to me is so simple and yet mind blowing all at the same time. And then I loved how you said, if you're lucky enough to have eyes on you, you know, they count. So like, you don't have to have thousands and thousands of followers. Like 3 sets of eyes are all you need. And
usually I don't want 20,000 followers because then I don't know who the real people are. Like, it's cool, guys. I know if we look at other people, oh my gosh, they have so many followers, but I want real people. I need to know who the real people are. The bigger that gets, the harder it is to actually know who the real people are.
So true. That is so good. Do you guys have any questions for Kim? And like she totally downplayed, she's a Success Club 10 legend. I mean, that is crazy, you guys. For 13 months, she's hit 13 or 14 months, she's hit Success Club 10 consistently. That means she's helped at least over 5 people a month for the last year. And just to think about all those lives that she's affected, seriously, blows my mind and inspires me even more. But since January, she's like been at Success Club 20 or higher. She's been second on all of Diesel Nation, only to Delgado herself. So I am just so proud of you and so blessed that we get to push each other in this business together. So ask away, girls. If you have questions, this is your chance. Anybody?
I know. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I will say something else I love doing that has helped, and I've been doing it also consistently, is I do free groups on Facebook. Like, again, information value is so important. It's laying the foundation. It doesn't need to be fancy. It's so easy these days to make a free group, pre-schedule your post, give people a taste of what a challenge group is. People don't know what that means. They have no idea. So they come into a free group and they're like, oh, that was a really cool motivational meme. Like, I've never seen that. You know, we see it all the time. Recipes. Oh, I could do that. Okay. Things that we do all the time. It's like, don't make it complicated. You know, and pre-scheduling is so easy. And then you just invite and then you direct message those people on Facebook and you're like, how are you enjoying my group? What are you working on right now? It's just so valuable. Those are your people for like the year, essentially. If you just establish a rapport with them and some trust, that's a handful of people you can have join you. And they're cool people because you're friends of friends. Like, it's not so far-fetched. They're going to have similar interests to you. And then it always works better, right? When you're like similar in ways, it's just easier. So right now I'm doing one, it's called Memorial Day Meltdown. And I guess you could even do that next week after Memorial Day. Like, who wants to do a post Memorial Day meltdown and just give some tips and tricks of healthy living? And, you know, we have those 2 free workouts from Beachbody for Transform 20 and Lift. So I shared the Transform 21 in that group. I said, here guys, I love my workouts. Go ahead and try this. And I'm going to share the Lift one this week as well, because I'm not going to pretend like I'm not in that group to talk about Beachbody. You know, once again, you don't have to like make everything about it, but people know who you are. If you're owning it and happy about it, then share it. You know, don't go back and feel bad about sharing.
Okay, I have a question. Sorry, Em. This doesn't have to do with inviting or groups or anything. I was just curious, like, obviously you do a lot of the vital behaviors and everything. Is there like a personal development book that just resonated with you, that just was like, damn, I needed that and it has taken my business? Like, I know a lot of coaches swear by the 10X rule, and I don't know if you've read that book yet. It's in my cart. I heard it is just like phenomenal for business, especially in Beachbody. Is there just any personal development that you just fall back on and you're like, okay, I need to get my butt in gear. I need to focus. And this is the book that I just feel like, gosh, when I read it, I wish I could tell 1,000 people.
I'll tell you what, I'm kind of the opposite answer, where I'm the person who's like, give me all the podcasts. Like, I Melanie Mitro, I just like, if I need inspo, I'm like, what's Melanie gonna tell me? I love everything she says. I love it. It's true. It's to the point. It gives me the skills I need. And then for my mental shift, like when I feel like I need to hear some good talk in my head because I'm feeling down or things are upsetting me, I will absolutely go to Rachel Hollis, The Rise, and pick something that I feel like that sounds good. Let me listen. And there's another girl, what is her name? She's so good. She's based in San Diego. I'll look it up on my podcast list when we hang out.
Is it Keisha Fitzgerald?
It's not, but she was on this girl's thing.
Oh.
Keisha was on this girl's
thing. But she is awesome too.
She was amazing. And so I just like, I love reading. I was an avid reader my whole life. And I just can't read anymore. I don't know. I don't have the time.
I love podcasts. So.
Yeah. So for me, like I've been doing that. And I heard someone on one of the national wake up calls talk about this and say like, all these top coaches tell you to read this book and it'll change your life. She goes, you have to find what speaks to you. So it doesn't matter, what worked for everyone else. But I also do think The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy is the one book I read that was like, and I still believe it. So true. The compound effect like builds on each other, and that's a big thing I believe in. So yeah, that one.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Of course. I should read more. I'm still trying to read Crazy Rich Asians from the cruise, so that's how well I'm doing.
I heard that book was pretty good.
I don't know, my brain. I can't shut my brain off. It's a problem.
Definitely. I do enjoy podcasts, so I appreciate your talk. I think you had a lot of awesome points to take away. I wrote down the same things Emily did, which is so funny because I was like, oh my gosh, it's a golden nugget. It was that was so good. And, I really hope I can take from your call and really let go of my own fear because it is deep in me to just not be an open share. It's really hard for me to just do that, but I appreciate your motivation because it's slowly making me want to just rip that Band-Aid.
I think you should do it. I will tell you that the value, I always say this, the hardest things I've shared, I've gotten so much positive things in return from it that it's worth it. So things I've shared about my son and being sick and having GI issues and vomiting and not knowing what to do or behavioral issues lately, the message that I get, it's like that fills my heart. That gives me a purpose. And it's more than just about fitness, right? But when you can share a little more about the realities, you're going to find the people who reach out in really cool ways. And I've had, I've kind of had like a month of take no prisoners attitude. I've approached 4 women who have treated me not very kindly in different ways. I was like, I'm done feeling bad in my heart about this. I'm going to address it. And you know what? It has been so cool, so freeing. And it's like, cool, we can move on in good ways, or we're in different places. But sharing a little more about reality is going to just probably bring back a lot more positivity and help for you actually in whatever area it is.
I think that's
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I love how Kim is just so unapologetically herself and like how she's not afraid to reach out to other people unapologetically. And that's what we were talking about earlier today. How she's just not afraid to be herself and how awesome that is and how freeing that is. And like, she knows she has something to share, whether it's like Beachbody or it's just life, because she, just like she said, if there's something that's going on in your life that you're struggling with or something that you heard or read that resonated with you, there's got to be somebody out there that feels like that as well. And so she shares that. And I think, like she said, I find too, when I'm sharing things that I'm struggling with, whether it's like parenting or being a military wife or whatever that may be, and people, like, those are the posts that get the most interaction. And that's what you want from your followers, is you want them to engage with you, because going back to what Beachbody is all about, we are all about developing relationships with other people. And that's the thing that I love the most about this company, is that we're not here to just sell them a challenge package and say, see you later, good luck. We're here to build a relationship with them, to literally help change their lives and help them reach their goals. And in order to do that, you first have to share life with them. And so if that's how you're finding your people, then you're already a step ahead of the game. And think about how awesome those people that are, you're going through life with will turn into challengers and will really come to you as a coach because they know you in life, and then you can really help them be successful. You can be the coach they need. And like Kim said, it's going to be a trickle down effect, because then they're going to share it. Whether or not they become a coach, they're going to share it with their friends and be like, oh, hey, well, you should check out my coach. She's awesome. And you just never know who you're going to have an effect on and how that's going to, trickle down into so many other people's lives.
And you know what else I'll say? I love when people tell me no. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun game. It's like, tell me no again. Tell me again. I'm going to come and ask you again. Like, no, but really no. It's kind of yes, right? Like, that's just how. So it's just because I've seen it so many times over. And some of like my favorite people in the business now are the girls who like said no to me a long time ago. No, I'm not going to join your challenge. No, I'm not going to coach. And like, they're doing it, because I just know it is so good for so many people. So I feel like this is the time of year, guys. Don't give up on those people. This is summer. Like, this is it. Go emotional. Hit those emotions. Hit the pain points that you felt, because you wouldn't be sitting here if you didn't have those, right? Like, we all came from something. And if you can go back to each day touching on a little something as summer's coming around, how you felt in a bathing suit or in shorts or at a family gathering, or looking at a photo of yourself that you didn't like, or planning for a trip or planning for a wedding and just not feeling like you are confident or happy. Those are things someone out there watching is going to resonate with. And that's what you have the gift to give them, is the solution. So it's cool because it's going to work if they do the work. Like, be confident in that. You're not selling them something that's not going to work. But I got to say, I'm so impressed, Emily. All these girls showed up on your call. I'm envious. Like, I may have some successful points, but I don't have a rad team like this. I want this.
I have a
so
great.
Cool.
Yes. I'm trying to think of all the other things that I really loved that might probe questions with you guys. But I think too, like, don't disappear. That hit like home with me. Don't disappear when life gets tough. Like, turn that into a like sharing opportunity. Share when life's tough and how you're still able to stay consistent in your health and fitness and business, even when life is tough. And I think too, like, we forget, I know that it's hard because you don't want to be consumed by social media, but that's really where our business is at. And so, like, show up every day in your stories. I don't always end up getting a post out on my Instagram, but I always show up in my stories. And so you might be doing your workout, you might be following your meal plan, but if you're not showing up in your stories, you're not reaching anybody else on your social media. And so they don't know that you're showing up. Does that, hopefully that makes sense? Like, you have to put yourself out there if you want people to see that you're doing it. And you might be doing it, but if you're not sharing, then nobody else can see that.
Well, then if you're doing all those good things, then you're doing your program. Like, you're not coaching and you're not putting in work, even though you think you're working, like you're not, and it's a hobby. So I loved when someone said to me a long time ago, you put in hours like a hobby, it pays like a hobby. You put in hours like a business, then it turns into a business. It's not overnight rich success at all. But, that was the shift, I think, for me too. It's like, okay, my free time of saying yes to like a coffee play date or something else, like, maybe I want to go and to work on my business in 1 hour when my kids are in school, or 1 hour at night. So I now try and keep Mondays for me when I drop my kids off, because weekends are so busy. And if I don't do that, I'm like, my week is starting off so crazy. I haven't done anything for my business. So yeah, like Emily said, if you're just doing the workouts, your shakes, your food, that's a lot of work, but that's not working as a coach. That's not helping anyone else. That's helping yourself. And that's great. Always help yourself first, but don't share. If you don't share it, it goes nowhere,
Yes, I love that. And I love how you said too, like, don't compare yourself to everybody else. And you're right. I follow way too many Beachbody coaches on Instagram because I'm always like, oh man, she's killing it and I'm not like her. But we all have something so individual to share. And
unfollow and just go look when you feel like it. Like, what's Melanie doing today? I'll go look. I've unfollowed a lot because I'm just like, why? Why do I want them popping up in my feed? That's not really helping me, you know?
Yeah. I think there's a good like core that you can follow to like get good inspiration. But yeah, like you said, we all come from different places, different backgrounds. We're, you know, whether we're a police wife, a military wife, a mom, a college student, a grandma, you know, like we have the whole spectrum and we all have something to give, something to share. And so never forget how valuable you are. And your audience is going to be so different than my audience. So don't feel like you can't reach somebody. You have a voice. And I think if that's one thing I've learned through this business is that I have a powerful voice. I just have to like give myself the power. I have something to say. I just have to put myself out there. And usually when I do, I get a lot of positive feedback. And so don't be afraid to be you and be out there. You know, what we do is scary. We have to be vulnerable. We have to like be willing to share. But the connections that I've made because I've shared and because of this business have just seriously enriched my life so incredibly much. Like Kim and I would have never been able to connect this way. And we now have a lifelong friendship that we get to carry on even when I'm not living close to her anymore.
I'm like, I already have anxiety.
I know. So I absolutely love that. I mean, most of you guys, my coaches on this call, like I've made a connection with you that I wouldn't have otherwise. Or our friendship and connection has just grown deeper and stronger as we get to build this business together and change lives together. So I think the biggest thing I want you to always remember is that you have something to offer and what you're sharing. Seriously, believe in that. Believe in the fact that this has changed your life. This has had an effect on your life. This can change your life. This can totally change somebody else's. So don't be afraid to share and be you. Any more questions for Kim before we let her hop off? Mm-hmm. Anybody? Okay, well, I hope that helped you guys. And if you guys think of any questions for Kim, I have direct access to her all the time. But she, on Instagram, she's Kimspiration Fitness. I'll share her with you guys. So I know we just said don't follow a whole bunch of Beachbody coaches, but you should follow.
Follow me, it's fine. And I'm sorry, by the way, if you get an auto message from me that's like, hey, are you working on any fitness? Like, just ignore it. It's fine. Like, Emily's my coach. Just message me and say Emily's my coach. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably message you and say, what fitness are you working on?
Yes, and that's Kim is just the queen of inviting, and so she definitely inspires me to invite because that's not a strong suit for me. And I think you will see by her hitting Success Club 20 consistently since January and using her tracker, it's because she's inviting and she's actually using that tracker. And so the power of invitation and follow-ups is seriously real. And I think
there's a really good Melanie Mitro talk, I think like 2 weeks ago on follow-ups. If you haven't heard it, Em, I may have sent it to you, or maybe you posted it, girls. So good. You heard it?
Yeah, it is really good. Yeah, so I mean, I know I tell you guys this all the time, that follow-ups are key and don't forget to follow up, but now you're hearing it from somebody else who is like, you know, super successful and you know, putting her head down and doing the work. So I think hopefully that was good to hear from somebody else and not just my same old voice. So
thanks, guys. We're doing you don't do a power hour, right, as a group right now?
No, we need to start that. It's hard we have a lot of East Coasters, so right now they're like probably trying to keep their eyes open.
Oh yeah, totally. It's late. I know. I get it. We're going to do a little power hour with my team, which just means we literally take the tracker out and we set timers and we try and give each other tasks to do, and we just get it done, like power once a week. And it's helped, I think, a lot of us.
Yeah, if that's something you're interested in, we can chat in our team page or the group message and talk about, maybe we could have like different people can host power hours. So like they just set up on Zoom and they, you know, hammer out an hour of work. So like you East Coasters could do a different time versus us who are out West. And not that they chat and talk, they literally like just are on here together and they like do their own work and are intentional with their time. Because I think that's a big thing about the business too, is because we are so much social media focused, it's easy to start scrolling Instagram and then become very unintentional with what you're doing. And I'm guilty of that on a daily basis. But if I sit down and I'm actually intentional with my time, that's what really pushes your business forward into the next level. And so if you guys want to do that, I would be all in. Or I'll even try and just hop on Zoom and see who wants to join me next time I'm like being really intentional. So thank you, Kim. I just adore you. And thank you for all your nuggets of time. And I will be sharing this recording with the rest of our team. So
awesome. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Good weekend ahead.